There's a restorative justice program in Eugene, Springfield that's doing some amazing work. It not only helps get young offenders to understand what they've done before they get into a life of crime, it also brings their families into the program and the crime victims. Watch how it works. What if, as a community, we could change the course of a young person's life by restoring justice, accountability, and relationship to the criminal justice system?
The goals, learn about who this person is and find what they need to do to make things right.
And what happened here was very, very serious because shoplifting is theft, and theft is a crime of dishonesty.
Imagine a system where a teenager's peers ask the difficult questions.
When you think about graduating high school, what kind of plans do you have after that point?
Welcome to Restorative Peer Court, a restorative justice program at the Center for Dialogue and Resolution, a local nonprofit agency. Some may refer to the process as teen court with a twist.
I'm Christian Belshi, I'm 15 and I go to Sheldon High School. I was going through lots of things. I was diagnosed with depression. I was sort of on a side where I was kind of in a self-destruct mode. Being a teenager now in high school, you feel like you don't have anybody you can talk to or anybody you can relate to. Because most people are like, oh, I know what you're going through, but like, really, they don't.
Kristen is a quiet kid with a lot on his mind.
Whenever I'm having a bad day, I just start playing music. I get on the drums, kind of zone out. After that, I just feel better.
Kristen started stealing small stuff.
Once I did it, I got away with it. I'm like, wow, I thought it was going to be a lot worse than this. And I started getting this adrenaline rush, and I was like, I'm going to do it again.
We want to get in early enough where we can get them to think about what it is that they're doing and hopefully have some actual changes in the neurons and et cetera of their brain so that they won't make that decision. They'll make a different decision.
In Lane County, juvenile crimes like shoplifting aren't prosecuted, and even if the money could be found to do so, the process is so different from restorative justice.
We also, in the traditional system, don't ever ask somebody who's committed a crime to take responsibility for what they did. We just slap them on the hand, we punish them in some way, but we never ask them to take true accountability for what they've done. In restorative justice, that is the goal.
Well, he had been making some poor choices his freshman year, and kind of came to a head in May when he went to Market of Choice while school was going on. He checked into class, skipped class to go get some gum for his friends.
As I was thinking I was getting away with it again for like multiple times, I get caught and the entire thing is just so unreal, and I was scared.
The main purpose of this program is to allow teens to help other teens learn from their offensive and take proactive responsibility for making things right. Before we go over the
Student volunteers serve on the panel. Many are from Student Leadership and Honor Society, but those in the hot seat also end up on the panel as part of their reparation.
They introduced me to the program and everything, the peer court, and that's where I got to meet a whole bunch of kids that were just like me, that got into the same situations, and they talked me through it, saying that it gets better.
We want to make these more attractive to either sell them or send them into the food bank to give out to people in need.
Kristen's peers determined with him what he needed to do to make things right. Community service was part of his obligation, as well as journaling and serving on the court. The program has a 95% success rate.
This approach is a community approach where we're saying, we don't think you're a bad person, you made a bad decision, you made a bad choice here. And if you're willing to take responsibility for it and willing to make things right again, we want you to come back into our community. We want you to be a standing, upright citizen. And we're going to help you do that because we believe you can and we care about you. It's a totally different message than the traditional system, which is we're going to punish you because you're a bad person and we're afraid of you and we're going to send you away.
They felt this opportunity for Zion to be held accountable while learning with their peers would be a beneficial process. Family members.
Often, restorative justice processes bring the person who committed the crime face to face with the victim and others harmed by their actions, including his or her parents
to be able to trust him again.
And others in the community.
It's just amazing what it does. The person who had been harmed gets so much more out of it than in the traditional courtroom setting, where mostly what they get is maybe a sense of revenge if the person gets punished. But there's so much that the victims don't ever get from that process that they now do get.
I think the process itself provides opportunities to put back responsibility into the system, accountability into the system,
idea, right?
relationships into the system, and most of all, just the ability to reduce crime and create a safer community.
I was surprised that they were willing to open up and share and have the ability to say, hey, well, what about this? And they really dug into the weeds as far as Christian's emotional status was and what our family dynamic was. I was surprised by that. I didn't know that he was so open because he is pretty guarded at home. I didn't know he was going to be willing to be that open.
Now I'm a part of it. We will talk about what we can do to make things right for you, the victims involved, and the community. I get to see all these different stories, and I'm like, hey, it's okay. I was sitting in that exact same chair as you, and look at where I'm at now.
Christian's service ended a long time ago, but he still chooses to serve on the peer panel. He says he found himself in the process. He found his value.
Because it shows me that there are other kids out there that are like struggling the way I am. And I also get to help those kids too, and afterwards I'm like, wow, I feel like I did something. Gave this kid a hand and picked him back up. Don't hang out with people that'll peer pressure you. Hang out with people that follow you.
Apology letter to mom, community service hours 6, 3 panel participation nights, and the required shoplifting class.
Is there anything you'd like to add to the agreement?
Yes, I think that I should write an apology letter to the store.
It works
too.
because kids don't want to listen to adults, and they want to listen to each other.
May our actions positively impact our community.
Restorative Peer Court also brings together kids from different places in life, and that's helpful for both.
It's a very eye-opening experience, and sometimes kids get very wrapped up in their own little world, and you don't realize that there's, a 15-year-old girl out in the streets like fending for herself, or a senior who's addicted to drugs and can't graduate high school. We don't realize the tragic lives that people have around us.
I have one parent who told me, I recognize my kid again. And that was so powerful to me that this process was able to help heal a family that has been broken.
Peer Court helps me by feeling like I had another chance, like I can redeem myself as a citizen of Eugene and help me repay back what I've done.